I'm going to first tell you a story that is a preparation story, all right? And in this story, there are some things, this is kind of a parable. There's some things for us to learn that are going to help us the rest of our time, today and tomorrow, all right? So this story goes like this. There was a man who lived in the village and went to the city to find work. He did find work, and he stayed for many years, and he made a lot of money. Finally, he returned to his village. And when he did, he was greeted as a great friend. So many people came and said, "Oh, it's good to see you. Could you help me with this? Could you get this for me? Could you do this for me?" And he wanted to help his friends. He wanted to help his true friends. But he said, "Friends, not like this. Let me set a day, and on that day, you come back." So they said, okay. They went away. They came back on the appointed day. And on that day, he said to them, "Now, you know the path that leads down to the river?" Like, "Oh yeah, everybody does." He said, "Along the path, I have put treasures for you to find. Now go and find the treasures." And so some of the people, right away, they said, "Oh, okay." And they looked and they noticed, "Oh, there's sand along the path. Our friend has put sand to make the path more comfortable." And so they scooped down and they got some of the sand. They said, "Surely the treasure is in here." So they took the sand home to study it. And others, they ran real quick, all the way down to the river. And they got to the river and they look around, They said, "We don't see any treasure." They said, "There's no treasure." And they went home. Others went a little slower. And as they walked along, they began to notice that, yes, there was nice sand all along the path. And not only that, but the briars that used to scratch your legs, the thorns were cut back. So they weren't scratching you anymore. And the old tree that was in the way, he had moved it out of the way. Not only that, but he had planted flowers along the path. And he said, "Surely these are the treasures that our friend put here for us." There was one more group that went even slower. And as they walked along, they noticed the sand and that the briars had been cut and the tree had been moved out of the way and the flowers had been planted. And then one of them, as he walked along, said, "Oh, look, over here behind the bushes, there's some bags of rice." And they went and gathered those up. And another one farther along said, "Oh, look over here, there's bags of beans." And they gathered those up. And still farther, as they went carefully searching along, somebody else said, "Oh, behind these bushes, there's brand new cooking pots." And so they gathered those up and took those treasures home. And that is the end of our story. Now, I didn't tell you this ahead of time, but part of the process of this is that somebody now gets to repeat that story. All right? And here's the key. It doesn't matter how much you remember, just whatever you recall of the story. It's a process of planning it in our minds. So who's going to be my hero of the morning here and repeat that story?
I will.
Okay? All right.
A man went off to the city and he stayed many years and he made a lot of money. He came home and was greeted by the town and, people were really welcoming him back, but they also noticed that he made a lot of money, so they were asking him to help them in various ways. And he said, "Well, I'd like to help you, but not like this. What I want to do is set up a day, to provide help." And so they said that was fine, and so he set up a day, and on the day, they all came to him, and he said, "You're going to go down to the river on the path, and you're going to find treasures as you go that I left for you." And so some people went, and they went down to the path, and they saw that he had put sand on the path, and they picked up the sand, thinking, "Oh, this must be the treasure," and so they took the sand home and studied it. And then other folks raced down to the river, didn't see anything, and they were upset. They were like, "Oh, there's no treasure here," and they left. And then still other people went a little bit more slowly, and they noticed that not only had he put sand down, but he had also clipped back some bushes, and he moved the tree and made the path easier for them to get to. And so they thought that was the treasure. And then some other folks went even more slowly, and they noticed that he had planted some flowers, and then they started really looking around, and they looked behind one bush and they found some food, some rice I think it was, and then They looked behind another bush and they found some cooking pots. And, they found those were the treasures that he had left around.
Very good. Good job. Good job. She get it? Yeah, she sure did. Sure did. Now, the next part of the process of how we do stories like this is to examine the story. And this is where the questions kick in. And at this point, I'm just going to ask questions, and what will I hear? Answers. Yeah. All right, all right, all right. So let's begin to look at the story. Who are the characters in this story? Who are the people in this story?
The man who went away and the villagers.
Okay, the man who went away and the villagers. All right, so let's start to look at them. What do we know about the man? From this story, what do we know about this man?
He's from the village.
He's from the village. Okay, what else do we know?
He went away
He went away. Where'd he go?
to the city.
He went to the city.
To work and make money.
Okay, was he a successful man? Okay, he was successful. All right, was he a poor man?
Maybe to start.
Okay, all right, good, good. See, now we're thinking. Maybe to start, but not when he came back. Okay, good. What else do we know about him?
He's generous.
He's generous. Why would we say that?
He was willing to help the people.
Okay, he's willing to help them. All right, what else?
He's creative.
He's creative. Yeah, he sure is. This was some idea, right? To go and put these things there. Uh-huh.
Like, I assume they used the path to the village, the river a lot, so he made a permanent change there just in the path that was gonna help everybody.
Okay. All right, he did something in a permanent way. He did something that was going to help everybody. All right.
I think he was a responsible man, and he also wanted to teach some responsibility, that there's actions to gaining, to getting things you need or want.
Okay.
There's actions to take.
Good, good. Great insight. There's some actions to take. There's some responsibility that goes along with this. And not just, okay, sure, here. Let me help you out. All right, good. Let's start to work at, there's probably more things about this man if we really keep looking through this, but let's start to look at the people. There's at least, I think there's 4 different groups of people here. And when they are told that there are treasures along the, what was it? Along the path, yeah. Then they have the opportunity to go and find them, right? So what's the first group do? The first ones that go to look.
They're not very ambitious.
Oh, man. Well, I didn't ask what their character flaw was, but but you're heading there, yeah. What was it they did? The first thing they saw, yeah. The first thing they saw was the sand. They scooped it up, and for what? What were they going to do with that? Take it home and study the sand. Surely the treasure's in there, right? Okay, so now you've already started us, Kim, on starting down this road here of what does that tell us about them. That could be one, they're not very ambitious.
Yeah, they want the quick fix, the quick answer, the,
Okay,
whatever the easy.
okay, all right. Now, and
Maybe they're just easily satisfied.
okay, all right, good. Stacy, give a little positive twist there. Yeah, they're happy with what they've got. Okay, the first thing, and I heard somebody say, I don't know where, the first thing they saw, they took that. Okay, good, that's good. The next group, second group, what did they do? They ran, and they ran all the way to the end, all the way to the river, right? And what did they do when they get there? They look. What did they find? They didn't find nothing. Okay, in their mind, they didn't find anything. And so what did they do? They go home. 2 groups down. First group find the sand. They take it home to study it. Next group runs to the river, don't find anything. Now they go home. Third group, what do? Okay, they walk along slowly. And what do they find, Brett?
Bushes cut back, tree removed.
Okay. So they see the bushes, the thorns that used to scratch you, they've been cut back. The trees have been moved out of the way. There's some nice flowers planted. All right. And what was their assessment of that? What'd they say about that?
This must be it.
That it was nice? This must be it. This must be the treasure, right?
The obvious.
Yeah, this must be the treasure that our friend has put here for us. And so, did they go home satisfied? You think so? Okay. All right. How about the fourth group, the last group? What did they do? Hmm?
Dug a little deeper.
Dug a little deeper. Okay. All right. How did they do that? What did they do that was different?
Went slowly.
They went slowly. Uh-huh.
A little bit off the beaten path.
Aha. Okay, they went just a little bit off because what did they say? They said, "Oh, over here behind the bushes."
They thought outside of the box, I mean the path.
Aha, aha. They're thinking just outside of the path, the box.
Didn't he actually tell them, I have some treasures for you? So they, maybe they clung specifically to the words.
Good, Danny, good. Yeah, they're here. They heard what was said. And what he said was, along the path, I put treasures for you. So maybe they are. Maybe they're hanging on to those words more, and they're like, well, where are the treasures? What do they find? Rice, beans, cooking pots, all the stuff we use in Belize. And in a lot of those other countries we put up there, rice and beans are a staple around the world. So they found these gifts, these treasures, and what do they do with them? Of course, take them home. Not going to leave them there and just say, oh, there's some neat cooking pots along the path down there toward the river. No, they take them home. All right, so now let me ask you this about these groups. Which of these groups found treasure? Three of them? Okay. The sand guys we're not real sure about? Okay. Well, now,
Only one
when-
found the real treasure.
okay, okay. Now it's interesting. Kim's saying only, who, say it again. How'd you say that? Only one has
Found the true treasure.
the true treasure. Okay. Do you guys agree with that?
I think they were satisfied with the sand. They were studying it.
Uh-huh. What'd they say? Surely,
Yeah, this is the treasure.
yeah, surely there's treasure in here.
But they settled for less than.
But they settled. Were they satisfied?
Not when they get
Yeah.
home, they're still hungry.
Okay. They get home, they study it, they say, well, I'm hungry.
Their friends have them over for dinner.
Oh, okay.
They're like, hey, what'd you eat?
Yeah. You guys should come on over because we got a feast tonight. Okay, all right. So maybe they didn't find everything, but they found something, and they liked what they found, right? Can we see that? You agree with that? All right. Okay, and of course, there's one group that finds even more.
Yes.
Oh, and one group that finds nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah. What can we say about those folks?
They're like my daughter.
Oh. We're gonna. Kim's helping me with something here. We're gonna come to that in just a moment. Hold that, okay? Hold that for just a moment. Right now, I haven't explained this to you yet. Right now, we're just gonna talk about them, the people in the story. In just a moment, we're gonna talk about the ones looking at the story. Okay? So first, let's stick with the ones in the story. So how are the ones in the story fashioned as in the way you're thinking?
They went the easy way. They went right there in front of them, smacking them in the face.
Okay?
Isn't that sort of a judgment call, though?
Okay? Help us, Don. What are you thinking?
Well, I don't want to read into what their motive is or isn't. I don't know.
Okay?
I'm just trying to observe the story because I'm still back on the man, why he came back if he made so much money in the city. And
Yeah.
I'm thinking, wow, he must really love us here.
Okay.
I'm
Very
still
good.
back on that.
Good deal. Good deal.
Why would he come back?
Yeah. That's interesting. What do you guys think? Why would he come back? Okay. He's from, yeah. He's from the village. Could have friends and family. He loves them. Okay.
Maybe the reason he left was to help his friends and family.
Wow. Okay. All right. Very good. This is, by the way, this is a very common thing that people do that a lot. Being in Belize, I see that a lot. People come to the U.S., they work for some years, they go back with cash, and that's what they do. So, but they're not in the story, so can't talk about them right now. All right, so let's get back to the ones in the story. What else do we know, or we think we know, or can we think about these ones that run to the river?
Why were they running?
Yeah, that's good. You didn't get a name tag yet. What's your name?
John.
John, okay.
Maybe they were greedy.
Maybe they're greedy.
They were just looking for a quick something
Okay,
fix, and they didn't find it.
okay.
Disappointing.
Yeah, yeah.
Wanted to be the first ones to get it.
Want to be the first ones to get it. Uh-huh.
They quickly turned skeptical.
Oh, okay,
And
okay.
they didn't even seem to think, maybe we missed it, maybe we should go back and look,
Mhm.
because maybe we ran by it.
Good, good, Kathy. That's good. They didn't do that, did they? The story doesn't tell us that. They didn't say, we better try this again. They said, nothing here. We're gone. But where did they go to? They went to the end. They went as far as they could go, right? They went to the end point. Okay, all right. Interesting. Let's move this now. The next part of this process is application. What we've just been doing is observation. Okay, now we want to do application. Observation is talking about them, the people in the story. Now we back up just a little bit and we realize we're going to talk about us, the ones looking at the story. And I always like this part for this particular story. If you were in this story, I think I know who Don would be, but if you were in this story, who would you be? What character do you relate to?
River
All right, okay. Zoom, run to the end, get to the end, we're there. All right, but how about some others? Don, I was guessing from what you said, maybe you were, that I would know your character, but who would you be?
I'm still back on the guy.
You're with the guy.
What he did is really cool, and I would like to think I would do that if
Yeah.
I had a bunch of money.
Okay,
I wouldn't forget my people back home.
all right, very
So
good.
I'm trying to put my, like I'm hearing the story, I'm not really even thinking about running the river.
Yeah,
I'm just sort of thinking, who is this guy?
yeah, good deal. Anybody else? Who do you connect with in the story?
When you tell it, I think about Easter egg hunting. Somebody brought gifts,
Okay,
and they placed them out there, and it seems like our culture is one that we put, even if my son or daughter would be slow, we rush them.
uh-huh,
Now, there's still one that lingers. There's someone that would be one that would have a tendency to go slow and look, but our tendency is to tell them, hurry, hurry, hurry. So it seems like our culture is one to make the dash to the river
okay,
and come back. Maybe then contemplate if we missed something,
okay.
and if we've got time, maybe go back and look again.
All right. Interesting, interesting. Okay, I got to do this. I just need to see a little show of hands because I know which group I would fit in. How many of you would be honest enough to admit you'd be in the second group that runs to the river? See, that's the problem. Because as soon as Danny, hey, look at him. He's got his tennis shoes and his shorts. He's ready to run. As soon as he runs, I'm going to think, oh my gosh, he's going to get everything. And so I'm going to run too. And I'm not even totally sure why, but I'm afraid he's going to get it all. And I don't want him to get everything, so I'm running. I'm just telling you. Forget the stuff about slow and careful. No way. I would be gone. Used to be a runner, not anymore, and it would scare me to see somebody take off, so I'm not even saying you would run, but if you did, whoever was running, I'd be there too. So I don't want to miss out. I want the treasures. I want to get the good stuff, and so I would miss those things. Now let's look at these four groups again a little bit, and then we're going to talk about the man that Don's fixated on here, because there's a good reason for that. The first group, and let me say it this way. In here are a lot of stories. 75% of this book is story. Hint, hint. 75% of it's story. 15% is poetry. 10% are letters. And even inside the letters, there's a lot of little bitty stories. So there's a lot of story in here, okay? So how do we typically approach that? And think about these four groups. If these four groups are approaching a Bible story, or a Bible study, what's the first group look like when they come to Bible study? What did they do? Kathy's laughing. What do you figure it out here?
I was just thinking years ago, a small group of women were doing a study and we wanted to go through the book of Romans, and it became the joke of, tomorrow we're going to study the next word.
Okay, okay,
I think it's A. I'll take an entire week to study
Okay.
because you just take the very first thing.
okay, okay. The very first thing you see. Have you ever seen groups like that? Very first thing you see, oh, that's it. That's it. And then what? They're good to go. Okay, I got something. I'm good. I'm done here. Right? So the second group, how do they approach Bible stories or Bible study?
Fine. Yeah, I mean, I'm an example person. We have a friend that's been coming to our Bible study that is an agnostic, and she's raced through that,
Okay?
you know, and she missed the whole point.
Aha. Aha. You can go from Genesis to maps and not know what was in between, right?
Right.
Yeah. I heard somebody say race through it. Right.
They're the people that gets a new book and flips to the last page and reads the ending.
Okay, okay. Wow. Okay. I can never do that, but but some do, right? Right? They do that. They go, okay, I just want to get the good part. Oh, yeah, okay.
He died.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
I have to know what's going to happen.
And then you'll read the rest of it? Okay, all right. Well, we didn't know we were talking about Stacy, but okay. So some are going to do that. Get to the end. I want to know what the ending is. And maybe miss the middle. Now, to her credit, she'll go back through it, so that's good. All right? So the third and fourth group, how do they approach Bible story or Bible study?
More methodical.
Okay, more methodical. All right? This, then this, right? Kind of got a plan or a system or something. Okay?
I think of, Paul talking about, those that are on the milk. still.
Okay.
These are people that are still taking just the surface information, but, it's good,
Uh-huh.
it's not bad.
Uh-huh,
it's good
uh-huh.
stuff. But it's just this, and they miss the meat that's there.
Okay. All right. Good. So they're seeing maybe the big picture of it. They're looking around, oh, the flowers and the sand, and this is pretty. This is nice. Surely this is the treasure. Okay. And then so the fourth group, how do they approach this?
They keep looking for more.
Okay. Looking for more. And how's that? What's that look like when you're in a Bible study?
They're curious.
Okay. Pictures.
Curious, we'd say teachable, but I think they're curious.
Okay, they're curious. That is a great word for today. I need you guys to be curious. And I think you'll see as we go through some of the Bible stories that is really, really going to help you. Be curious. So when you see something, why are these flowers here? Why is the tree moved? Why is the sand there? Release your, I think Leah or somebody said to me, it's kind of like releasing your inner 2-year-old or something, that just says, why? That's good to ask in doing this. Ask why a whole lot. You'll find out a whole lot more. Okay? So here's the deal then. Let's end up by talking about the man that did this. But who is the man? When we consider this story and we consider this book, who's the man? Yeah, Jesus is the man, or God's the man, the one who gave us the path, right? And along the path, there are many what? Treasures. There are many treasures along the path. But how do we get those treasures? Dig. What is it?
Seek them out.
Seek them out. Look for them. You're going to find them if you run to the river? You're going to find them if you grab the first thing you see? Well, that might be a treasure. But who finds the most treasures? The last, what did you say?
the
Group.
group.
That's another key.
'Cause
It
that's-
wasn't,
They
huh?
also helped each other.
Exactly.
It's like, hey, look over here.
Exactly. Yeah. It didn't say, oh, I found a bunch of rice. Didn't hoard it. Said, hey, look over here. Here's rice. Hey, look over here. Hey, over here. They did it as a group.
That would also encourage the other people to start looking in places a little bit farther out.
Exactly, exactly. Kind of like the Easter egg hunt. When Larry mentioned that, boy, I can remember that, little and bigger. You know, if I see somebody that found an egg in a tuft of grass, well, I'm going to go check every other tuft of grass now because of that. All right, so as a group, there's a principle that we'll find very, very true in this, that as a group, all of us are smarter than any one of us. And I love that because it works every time. I'm going to tell you, some of the stories we'll do today I've done so many times. And I know that today I'm going to learn something new because it happens every single time. Because you guys weren't in the group last time I did the story. So I'm excited to find out what I'm going to learn today about stories I think I already know. Because all of us are smarter than any one of us. And the group makes that happen. Now, another piece of that that's important is that if you're sitting there and you have a thought and you're not quite sure what to do with that, let it out. Speak it out. Because it's sort of like we're putting together a puzzle and we don't know what it is. We each have a piece or a few pieces, but we don't know what the picture is. We don't know what the last page is. So we just know we got these parts, and how do they fit? Well, if you're doing a puzzle like that and you have some parts in your hand, you kind of try them with other people's. And so sorry, I can't read that. Melody, okay. If Melody has a thought and is thinking, oh, I don't know if I should say that or not, but she puts it out there, and next thing you know, Connie says, oh, that helps me because she was thinking something else, and those go together. And then John says, whoa, now I get it. I wasn't even sure what I saw there, but now that you guys have said that, I see this. And so I want to encourage you, as we do observations, share those kind of things because that feeds off of each other, and we will definitely learn more that way. All right? So the path story is an introduction story just to let you see how we do this. All right? Wherever you see yourself in that, the other option is where would you obviously like to be? I told you I'm going to be the runner. If people take off running, I'm going to run too. But I know, and I think you can see, where we should be is where? Yeah. The fourth group that goes slowly, carefully, and works as a group.